and making a slip. Okay, I've had an epiphany and I want to share it with you guys. If you're new here, my name is Molly. I am an illustrator and ceramicist in Chicago. I run a small business and it's an art-based business. I design and sell t-shirts, tote bags, apparel, home accessories with my illustrations on them. So things as a small business owner have been difficult. If you run a small business, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, this is still relevant because I think that this is actually applicable to other cases. Things have been really hard, especially in terms of marketing and sales. Last year, my business did not make that much money. I always want to figure out what the problem is and how I can fix it. And unfortunately, with this problem, I've just been like beating my head against the wall, trying to figure out how can I reach more people? How can I market better? And no matter what I do, it seems like it's a struggle. For example, I had a custom offering this year for Valentine's Day. I always do a Valentine's Day commission. I offer commissions throughout the year that are watercolor and they're 8" by 8", and they are priced on a sliding scale depending on detail. For Valentine's Day, I tried to streamline it and make it a little simpler. So this year I did these 5 by 7" marker portraits, and I had customers use a form on the product page where they could just upload a picture of them and their partner, or them and their best friend, or them and their dog, and I would draw that picture. I thought I was saving myself a lot of time by streamlining the process, but ultimately it ended up being a disaster. First off, the marketing push I did for Instagram just got buried. Also, it turns out that the heavy lift for me as an artist doing commissions isn't the detail, the watercolor, the 8" by 8"-ness of it all. It's the rendering of people. It's the cartoonifying, it's the taking of an image and turning it into an illustration of my style. And I've trained for years by drawing to figure out how to efficiently communicate someone's look, vibe, energy through illustration. And I love it and I'm good at it. But this year I offered my most affordable commission ever, and I thought I was saving myself all of this time telling people that I would draw exactly what they uploaded. It ended up not working. I didn't save myself that much time. I certainly didn't save myself that much effort. And I was able to send them in a smaller envelope. The post office, for whatever reason, hates these envelopes. And things I sent priority shipping 2 days just hung out in the post office, slowly moving through the system and not getting in time for Valentine's Day, which was how the offer was marketed. I even had to refund 2 customers. I totally get why my customers were unhappy, but it was super demoralizing. Anyway, this led me to post on Instagram stories a little rant about how I was feeling, almost like a state of the union of my business. First off, I talked about the custom experience and how it wasn't what I thought it would be. But once I started typing and making these posts, I couldn't stop and I just kept going. And I'm going to tell you about it because so many other small businesses related to it. Something that's been a frustration for me for a long time has been Instagram as a marketing tool. It used to be I could post a product on Instagram. If somebody liked it, they might decide to go to my website and buy it. Well, Instagram got wise and wanted a cut of the money, and that's fair. I get it. We're all running businesses. And so they de-incentivized those posts. So now in the algorithm, when an artist or a small business or a freelancer posts anything with a call to action, like come to my art show, hire me to design your website, buy this t-shirt, Instagram knows and it buries those posts and it pressures you to buy ads. I'm totally willing to buy ads. I don't mind paying to play and I'm open to it, but the back end of Meta Business Suite is one of the most confusing things I've ever seen. Meta will try to streamline this or simplify this by suggesting that you boost things that you've already posted, but expert marketers seem to agree that those boost posts have a really low return on investment and aren't necessarily worth it, depending on what your objectives are. The fact that I even know this is blowing my mind. I'm an artist. I don't want to know about marketing that much. Marketing has always stressed me out because I never want to be phony. Like, I just want to share what I do. That's what my business is all about. It's like trying to connect with people and reach people and feel less alone. So I posted this rant on Instagram about running a small business and advertising and marketing, and so many freelancers and fellow small businesses and fellow artists reached out to me and agreed and related. Everyone's feeling frustrated. And I spent the weekend thinking about this, and then it hit me. I had an epiphany. What if digital marketing isn't the answer? Well, what if it's one answer, but it's not the only answer? Hear me out. Everyone I know right now is addicted to their phones. Even if we're not constantly checking them, they're always by our side. Mine is right there on the table as we speak. I was watching a movie with Eric on Friday night, and we weren't checking our phones, but we both had our phones resting on our stomachs. Like, we had this portal or tether to an infinite amount of other experiences that we could live vicariously through our phones. It's just like not healthy. And because it's winter, as I film this, I think that we're all like on our phones more. And then the news has been so depressing and so bad, but news outlets benefit from us constantly checking in on the news and constantly checking the feed. It's called a feed for a reason. It's a constant belt of moving information that just keeps delivering to you, and you'll never be satisfied or full. Anyway, I could talk about this forever. This isn't going to be a rant on why social media is bad, because I don't think it's all bad. So this weekend, I decided to combat my low-grade depression with effortfully choosing to spend time off of my phone. Anytime I feel depressed, I do this. Eric and I have done digital detoxes before, or if I'm feeling particularly bad, I lean into going out into the world and not staying home. That's like usually the answer is connect with people in person. I also spent Saturday night hanging out in my office, looking at art books and just looking at images in a book versus on my phone and feeling inspired that way. I spent the whole night looking at books and drawing, and it was so fun. I missed a bunch of text messages and I didn't care. This energy is the same kind of energy I want to bring into sharing the word about my business. My phone makes me feel bad. It makes me feel disconnected from people. And my work is all about feeling connected to people, feeling less alone, finding the funny and relatable things about life and sharing them with the world, and trying to find connection through that. So why am I relying so much on a tool that inherently disconnects me from other people? I have 2 in-person events coming up in March, and already I'm so much more excited about them. Now that I've had this like epiphany, I'm thinking really hard about how I can make these events more fun, more exciting, more thoughtful. How can I convince people to come out and get together and meet people and maybe make new friends? Like, by the way, if you live in Chicago, save the date for March 16th from 4 to 8 p.m. I'm hosting a big ceramics pop-up at Penguin Foot Pottery. It's going to be really fun. This event is going to coincide with my ceramic specific merchandise launch on March 17th. So if you don't live in Chicago, you can still shop the goods. Anyway, commercial over. I'm feeling invigorated about being in person and connecting with customers in the real world. My friend Hannah has this mail club and I love it. It's like the ultimate analog connection to their art. So once a month they send out a Rezo print and it gets mailed to you. It gets folded into thirds, stuck in an envelope, and they mail it to you. And you get to look forward to having a new piece of mail with a surprise print every month. Hannah and I talk a lot about marketing, and lately we've been obsessed with thinking about non-digital ways to market. Like, we've talked about getting an ad on a bus bench or sending out a mailer to people with product offerings or a coupon in their mail. I was a catalog kid. I grew up reading catalogs. And so in a dream world, I would send out a catalog with all my products and like get rid of my website. But I'm not a complete Luddite yet. Anytime I have to think about marketing, I think really carefully about how not to be cheesy. My work is really honest and personal and genuine, and I don't want to be disingenuous when I'm sharing it with the world. And marketing has always felt a little bit touchy with that. I've just been thinking a lot about ways that I can show up as a business owner in my community that aren't necessarily even with the objective of marketing, but end up having a positive effect. On Saturday, I stopped by Four-Sided, which is a gift shop. Well, actually, a collection of gift shops. They have multiple locations here in Chicago. They had placed a wholesale order with me and I shipped it out, and there was a mix up with some of the items, so I had to go and swap them. And I walk into this store and the shopkeep immediately recognizes me because of the branding on the tape that I tape my boxes with. And we start to chat and we joke around. And I looked around at the shop. I'm like, Four-Sided rules. I'm so glad it exists in Chicago. So honored that they stock my things. And I'm just so glad that there are places like this left in the city to shop. So later on in the day, I checked my email and Four-Sided had placed another wholesale order with me. And it was like the universe was like shaking me, telling me, this is the answer. Like, in-person interactions are the answer. It just felt like it was validating all of these other thoughts that have been circulating and I just haven't been able to express. I was in grad school for 2 semesters for UX design, and that's a story for a different video. I read this article in the LA Review of Books, and this quote has always stuck with me. The article was about this fake crisis of conscience that was happening in Silicon Valley. Not only were social media apps like Instagram or Facebook addictive, but in fact, they were designed to be that way. And so designers who worked on these things started to feel guilty about it. The article ends with this quote that will stick in my head forever. Solving tech problems with tech solutions only positions big tech as the savior to us all. I've been thinking about that so much with my marketing problem. Why am I trying to solve my digital marketing problems with digital marketing solutions? Like, what if the answer is to go touch grass and like connect with people in real life, finding alternative ways to show up in my community or remind people that I'm a business that you can shop from? I know there's some irony in me making a YouTube video about this in particular, but I couldn't host a rally in Humboldt Park, and I really wanted to tell you guys about what I've been thinking about. And also, I don't have any plans to stop using Instagram or stop using YouTube. And I'm not going to give up on the Meta Business Suite. Maybe one day I'll understand it. I just think that they're one tool, and maybe showing up in the real world is the thing that could set my business apart right now, or at least make me feel better. So that's my manifesto. That's my little epiphany. I'm really looking forward to these in-person events I have coming up and scheduling more as the year goes on, and thinking about other analog ways to market what I do, and also still using all of the digital tools that I have at my disposal. But if you're a small business owner and you're feeling a little bit burnt out by digital marketing tools, maybe the answer is connecting with people in real life and just taking a step back. Let me know in the comments if any of this resonated with you. I'm super curious to hear how you feel about it.